One mistake I see a lot of guys make, and actually also many of my clients make when we start working together, is that whenever they see a girl that they find attractive, they're almost a little bit scared that the girl will think that they're hitting on her. So rather than approaching her and giving her a very direct compliment and making it clear that, hey, I find you attractive and I'm here to meet you, rather than doing anything like that, they will avoid this like the pest. And instead they will walk up to the girl and say something like, hey, I just wanted to tell you that your dog looks really cute. Or maybe they make it about the girl, but it's something very abstract, like, oh, hey, I just wanted to tell you that you have really cool boots. And then they stand around and it kind of feels awkward. They're almost expecting the girl to continue the conversation for them, or maybe they try to run the conversation themselves, but it almost feels like empty chit chat. And unless the girl finds that guy extremely attractive from the start because he just happens to be her type, these conversations will never go anywhere. They will feel awkward for everybody involved and they just won't go anywhere. Now, fortunately, the solution is quite simple. You need to make it very clear why you're there. And in this video, we're going to talk about how to do this, how to save yourself in case you forget it. And I'll just tell you exactly what I tell my clients because it's such an easy fix. Now, back in the day, we used to call this intent. Showing intent means making it clear to the girl why you're there and telling her that you find her dog cute and then thinking that, well, she should know she's a hot girl. She should know that I'm here to meet her. Yes, maybe subconsciously she knows, but unless she really finds you attractive, she's not gonna put in the work. So it's on you. It's your burden. It's your task. It's your duty to make something happen. Now, the reason men are so scared of hitting on women is usually because they think it's going to get awkward. If you tell her, hey, I came here because I saw you from the other side of the street where I was standing with my buddy, and I just thought you're so attractive that I had to run over and say hi. Yeah, that can feel awkward. And actually, the truth is, you should expect it to be awkward for a moment because you are approaching somebody that's going about their life. You will take them out from there and give them a compliment, and you need to give them a moment to settle with this, to accept that new reality of you hitting on her. Expect it to be weird, but still, if you see a girl you find attractive, you have to do it this way. I know some people will say, but I have this friend who can always just start a conversation in some indirect way, and he always ends up getting the girl's number, or the girls always love him. Sure. The better you get at this, the less you need to make it clear. The better you get at this, the more you can rely on your subcommunication. You can use the right signals with your eye contact, with your body language, and women will pick up on it. But if you're watching this video, I'm willing to bet 99% of the people watching this video do not have that skill. So save yourself months of pain, and rather than doing some sort of indirect half-assed approach, be direct. State your intentions. Tell her why you're here. Tell her, hey, I saw you and I thought you looked very attractive. I thought you were very attractive and I wanted to meet you. Now, if you cannot do it, then whatever your approach is should at least be followed up with a, hey, by the way, my name is, and then you state your name and you do a handshake. This is what makes this random chatter into a real conversation, what turns this random chatter into a real conversation. The proverb that's on my mind here is, you can't be half a gangster. You can't be half a gangster. You have to commit to this. If you do these half-assed approaches that are just chit-chat, you will go through so much pain, so many approaches that just feel awkward, that are not going anywhere. And you can feel my frustration talking about this because I see that so many guys make this mistake and it's such an easy fix. So your baseline should be, do a direct approach where you tell her that you think she's attractive, where you tell her that you found her cute, where you tell her that you think she looks hot. Whatever is on your mind, that's what you're going to say. I don't want you to beat around the bush. I don't want you to do any sort of indirect approach. So you do that direct approach, then you introduce yourself, you do a handshake, and then you transition into a normal conversation. Second layer, that is your framework, your foundation. Second layer, whenever you forget to do this, we're gonna go one step further. So you somehow start a conversation in an indirect way, or you did some half-assed approach. What can you do to make it direct? And before I tell you, being indirect is an art. If you get to the point where you can start conversations in an indirect way, you will have insane results. It's an art form in and of itself. But again, 99% of people watching this will not be there yet. You can get there with the right amount of work, with the right amount of contemplation and improving, getting feedback and improving your skill set. You can get there, but that's not where you start. Your baseline, your starting foundation should be your ability to do the thing that needs to be done, being direct about your emotions, about your intentions, about why you're there. So if you forget to do it, what are you gonna do? Well, you have to switch it up. You have to go from that indirect chit-chat conversation into a more direct interaction. Tell her, hey, actually, I'm just beating around the bush. The reason why I'm here is because I think you're attractive. Now, don't use these words, but that's essentially what you're going to do. Now, see what I did there? This was actually quite half-assed by me. I kind of left you hanging. I kind of told you what I thought, but not fully. And that's exactly the same that you're doing to girls. So what do you do when you've been indirect? Here's a specific way to do it. You're going to tell her, hey, you know what? Actually, I think you're super cool. Actually, I think you're super attractive. Hi, my name is XYZ, right? You go from that indirect chatter with a very simple statement. Hey, actually, I think you're quite attractive. Hey, actually, before I go, I wanted to introduce myself. I think you're super attractive. Handshake. Shake hands and then transition into a normal conversation. Now, last thought on this. Your intent is not something that requires a response. You don't need to tell her you find her attractive, expecting her to give you something back or expecting her to say something. You just want to state it so it's clear why you're there. The only reason why you're saying it is so it's clear that you want to meet her and you're not just some dude doing some chit chat for whatever reason, right? And the way to actually do it is doing the handshake. I can guarantee you, if you start shaking hands with the people you meet, those conversations will become real. The handshake is almost genetically imprinted into our minds as something that means, oh, I'm meeting this person. Then you exchange names and then you continue with your conversation. Now, this was a little bit of an emotional video for me talking about this because I'm seeing so many guys make this mistake, and whenever I tell them how to fix it, I get into these conversations where people tell me, yeah, but I know this guy who does it differently, or I've always done it this way. If you've always done it this way and you're not getting results, then guess what? You need to change something. And imagine a guy, that's the analogy that comes to mind here. I used to play tennis. Imagine a guy that wants to play tennis and he just keeps hitting the ball and it keeps going into the net. As long as he keeps doing the same thing, there will be no improvement until somebody tells him, well, how about inclining the racket a bit differently? Or how about doing a little bit of a spin, right? Only when somebody tells you what to do, when you start changing things and then seeing the feedback and then you re-implement that feedback, that's when you improve. So try something new, see how it goes, take mental note, make changes, and then come back and see what needs to be fixed next. That's literally how you learn. With that being said, if you want my help, let's hop on a call. There's a link to my calendar down below, and I'll see you in my next video.